Hey there PlayStation fans, Darth Karnivorus here and welcome back to another epic PlayStation video. And guys, as promised, this is going to be my video for the PS Vita. So this is going to be a video where I was going to show you how to turn retro games into modern games. Now I only mean that by control style, whereas in the good thing is though when you're playing PlayStation 1 games, for instance, if you're playing it on a PS Vita, you get full control of being able to map any button to any control, and it makes it so much more better to play. So we'll just fire up, let's see, Alien Trilogy. So I'll fire up some Alien Trilogy. Turn the volume up, guys. There we go. And I do love this game. I do love, the games that were obviously, the games that were referred to as Doom clones, because obviously, Doom was the first, proper first-person shooter next to Wolfenstein. Well, obviously Wolfenstein was the first one, but Doom was the one that kind of popularised the genre, and the good thing about obviously having, PS1 games on a PS Vita is you get the Adrenaline app, which plays PSP, PS1 games, and you can get save states, which is excellent. So you just have to load in the states here. Takes a few seconds, but once you're in, you're in. There we are. So yeah, that's me in, this is me in the game. And, the thing is, like, by default, you would use the D-pad, to move around. You use the shoulder buttons to strafe, but the thing is, though, the PS Vita does not have, it only has two shoulder buttons, so L and R. It doesn't have L2 and R2. I don't get it why. They could probably fit it on here. They could have made these a slight bit smaller and maybe put another button next to it, or even just, I don't know, they probably could have done it. But then again, you can map the L2 and R2 buttons and L3 and R3 buttons to either each corner of the touchscreen or each corner of the rear touchpad. So you can do it that way if you like, but not every game needs it. It's one of those ones where they don't actually need it, and obviously you can maybe map one button to someone else. So if you press either the home button or hold it in, you get the option to open up official settings, okay, and then you go to controller settings and go to assign buttons. So when you go to custom, this is obviously the button, the way it's set by default, so this is the one that's going to be set to. And as you can see there, I've got my D-pad is just set to standard movement, but I'll show you this in a moment, guys. Okay, so obviously I can move up, down, left, and turn left, turn right with the D-pad. Ah shit, I just stood on an alien corpse there, so I was taking a bit of damage there. Yeah, so what I've done is, because the PS Vita has two analog sticks, and I got to admit, guys, these analog sticks are still, even though they're small, they're still very, very comfortable. Playing games like Killzone, Uncharted, things like that, just, because it's full 3D movement. Now, just bear in mind, guys, that because these were mapped, or because these were on a PlayStation system, they've only got four directions to basically go up, down, left, and right. It's not like a 360-degree movement. So I've mapped, just like in modern shooters, if you like it inverted, you can obviously invert it, but just like in modern shooters, on the left stick, up, down, left, and right. So you move forward, move back, strafe left, strafe right. And if you remember that left and right were to turn left and right, you just map that to the right stick. Obviously these sort of games you can't look up and down, so you have to bear with that. To activate things, I use circle, and to fire I use the R button. You can map that to whatever any button you like, but this makes games like this just so much easier to play, because you know what, guys, everybody plays retro games with rose tinted glasses on, those nostalgia glasses where when you played it back in the day, you were so happy and you're so hyped, and that way, I mean, you still are, well, I am these days, still going back to games like this still makes me so happy, but, the control schemes for a lot of these games are still kind of, basic and hard to grasp. I mean, playing a game that, at the time didn't have an analog stick but did require it, say, playing a game like The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, even though that's a 2D game, it's 2D, it's above view, so if you're using it with a analog stick. Say for instance, A Link Between Worlds on 3DS used the analog slider, or the 3DS slider, to move in a 360-degree movement, where you could easily do that if the Super Nintendo had a analog stick, but obviously it didn't, so you had to make do. But that's the sort of thing I'm trying to explain. So as you can see, like if I try to move, I can only, I can do like sort of diagonal directions and stuff like that, but it's not perfect, but I mean it does the job, guys. It really, really does. So yeah, Alien Trilogy, one of my favourite first person shooters ever. I love this game so much, I really do. Doom on PlayStation, on the other hand, is my favourite, old school first person shooter ever. I've mapped triangle to switch the weapons, and L's for secondary fire. Oh, sorry, square. I need to actually map that to L. Silly me. So what I'll do is, guys, oh god, look at my health. I have put on cheats for all weapons and infinite ammo, but I don't have infinite health. So I have been playing this game pretty much vanilla, and the good thing about this thing is that it does have save states, which is great. And I don't know if you can see this, guys. This game is super, super dark, so I'm just going to quickly switch to another game. But what I'll do is quickly, I'll just show you the controls that I've got for this one, okay? Okay, so the D-pad is fine the way it is, okay? Okay, so these face buttons are fine the way they are as well. And as you can see, I've put L to circle, so L activates things, as well as circle. R, which actually is to shoot, X is to shoot, so I've mapped it to R. And obviously there's the left stick and the right stick. So it's just as simple as that. Plus, if you're going to assign touchscreen, you can assign whatever you want. I don't have anything assigned to that one. Same with the rear touchpad, but the rear touchpad are by default mapped to obviously the different regions here. So L2, R2, L3, R3, which is fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly jump into my favourite one, my favourite first person shooter. Now the thing is, well guys, I don't know why, but for some reason when I played this game back in the day on my original PlayStation, I just wanted to play this every Saturday. Obviously I'd be at school during the day, and then when I got to the weekend, every Saturday I would stay in, I wouldn't leave the house, and I would just sit and play Doom on PlayStation all day. I remember playing the game for the first time, and I got all the cheats and God mode and whatever else, and went through the game no problem. But then I decided, you know what, I'm going to actually beat this game like vanilla, no cheats, no nothing, just basically sit down and play it all day, and I done it. I loved it, So I've done the same sort of scheme with this one, and obviously movement is just so much more easier to navigate. As you can see, it's just like a modern version of Doom. So if you're going to play like Doom on, say, Xbox 360 or even like Nintendo Switch, you can obviously, do that. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, well, if you obviously want to play it in that one. So the great thing about the PS Vita is it does open up those sort of options for you. There's a few more games I want to show you off, guys. So just bear with me. I'm just, this is where I've saved it. I've pretty much killed everything in this level, and it's pretty much at the end. So what I'll do is, so you can get like 34, I think. Let's see, 31 save states. So that's pretty reasonable. And that obviously consists of both PSP and PS1 games. So let's see for another perfect one. Actually, there we go. Quake 2. So Quake 2 came out, and I don't know if you've actually seen these controls. I'll go into the options and it will show you the controls for it, like the default controls. And these controls are just weird. They really are, guys. Give me a sec. I just need to quickly stick a cushion behind my back. Kind of sitting like this is kind of giving me backache. Right, okay, so player options, controller, standard. That doesn't even show you the. Oh, wait a minute, I actually remember this one. So when I was playing this game for the first time, I had to kind of remember what the controls were so I could switch them. So what I'll do is, I will show you the official settings. Right, okay. Right, let's see. So Ah, there we go. So yeah, the controls may not make sense at this point, but I think I think that's strafing, if I remember right. Um, but yeah, it's kind of weird, to be honest. Like the controls are really really weird. I think it was like if you move up on the right stick, you move forward. Back on the right stick moves you back. You look left on the left stick. It's so weird. Obviously, this is like very very early days of like dual analog movement. You know, so it wasn't perfected then. So, and plus the game is inverted, which I hate inversion in games. I just can't stand it. It's the work of the devil, you know. Anyway, so yeah, same thing. I've got left and right on the strafe left and right on the left stick, move up and down on the left stick, and this one you can move up and down, which is good because it's a full 3D game. You know, it's a shame that they never brought out the original Quake on PlayStation. But then again, if you want to play Quake on PS Vita, you're more than welcome to. You can play the original PC version and the PC version of 2 and 3. So that's obviously really good, and they do support the dual analog system. Yeah. Yep, that's one thing you have to remember in these games, the Quake games, to kill the enemy. You know, before even when they hit the ground, just kill them because they will end up popping a shot off. And as you can see, I get the kick-ass Quake music as well. Yeah, you can't beat that. Oh god, I love it. Right, okay, so I think I've got. There we go. I mapped jump to L just to make things a bit easier. And if I remember right. Actually, I remember now. So left and right's to switch between weapons. So there's a big meaty dual barrel shotgun, dual barrel, double barrel. Oh well, I knew what I meant. And yeah, so it makes these games a lot more fun to play. I mean, I'm not really sure. I don't really play these games emulated on like anything really. Some things I do. If you watch my last video, which was on my emulated games for my on my tablet, you know, yes, there's a few games like that, but I play like the kind of proper control scheme the way it used to be. Whereas in this one, obviously I do you know, dual stick support, you know. But there's one other game I wanted to show off. Actually, there's a couple more games I want to show off. So one of them is Duke Nukem Attempt to Kill. So this one had really weird controls as well. I actually remember getting this one. My friend got this one at Christmas, and he was telling me how good the game was. And I had no idea, you know, who or what Duke Nukem was at the time. And he kept going on about how good this game was. He's like, you can go to strip clubs and there's like, you know, there's strippers there, there's like dancing on poles, and then you go back later on, it's like pigs with like, obviously because pigs have the nipples, you know, it has like, you know, multiple bikini tops on, you know, it's crazy. So when I got the game as well, back then, it's fine, that's just the way the game was, you know, you get used to it, but try to play that sort of control scheme nowadays is kind of, you know, it's kind of weird. Let's see. So, right. So there we go. You probably noticed, guys, that I do play these in full screen. You know, even though yes, they are stretched, but they don't look stretched, to be honest. But I know you're probably thinking, oh, they should be on 4:3 or whatever else. Fair enough. You do you. I'll do me. You know. So if you don't like it, then that's, you know what, that's fine. You know. This is my PS Vita system, and shit, you know, I've not played this game in a couple of months, so I'm trying to think of the controls and stuff like that. So as you can see, you know, similar controls to the other first person shooters, even though this is a third person shooter, but you know, you treat third person kinda like first person because it's the same thing, it's just a different point of view, you know. But yeah, let's see. Here, Peggy, 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 Peggy. There you are. So yeah, I can aim as well, but it's inverted for one, and I need to use the left stick. You know, so yeah, it's obviously, you know, it's in its infancy for these sort of controls. You know, But I do love this game. This brings back so many memories, you know. And yes, I do have. I've got Duke Nukem Total Meltdown on here, the PlayStation 1 version, and I've also got the PS Vita version of Duke Nukem 3D Megaton Edition. So, yeah. You know, it's that way you're trying to remember these damn controls, you know. Yeah. Let's see. God, I can't even. Ah, never mind. I can remember those controls there. But one of the other ones, this is one of the games that I got. Actually, guys, I haven't actually mentioned that in my last video, what games I got with my. Okay, that's a strange one. Quickly, I'll tell you guys. The games that I got for my PS1 when I first got it was I got Doom on PlayStation. I got Nightmare Creatures, which you see right here. I got Suikoden, or Suikoden, or however you pronounce it. I got Gran Turismo. It was either Gran Turismo or Gran Turismo 2. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of those ones. I'm trying to think of the other ones I got. Duke Nukem Total Meltdown. Uh, Loaded as well. Loaded, that was another one that I got. I got a whole bunch of demo discs as well, which was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys remember demo discs back in the day. You know, obviously like nowadays with games that you can just buy on the online stores and you just download them there and then, and you can download demos. Back in the day when PlayStation and stuff like that, we had to actually buy magazines in order to get to play upcoming games. You know, I can't really remember the rest of them, but you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. This is like almost 30 years ago I had this thing, so you know, trying to think back then, you know. Obviously, those games that I mentioned are the ones that I played the most. So the ones that I didn't play much are probably the ones that I've forgotten. So fair enough. Right, so I may have to reset this game here. Let's see. I think there's a way to do that. What we'll do is right. Nightmare Creatures is somewhere around here. No. Aha. But this is one of the ones I used to play constantly. And that's the thing though, I remember the first time that I played Bloodborne on PS4, and it instantly made me think of this game. And I thought, my god, I would love it if they remade Nightmare Creatures. But then again, if they remade Nightmare Creatures, you know, there's a strong possibility it's going to be another Dark Souls clone, you know, because that's all they do these days. Every single game nowadays is either a Fortnite clone or a Darksiders clone or, you know, something like that, you know. I'll see if I can load this one back in without the I don't know if you remember that, guys, when you used to play games. It still happens these days when you play games and it, like, your game will freeze and it'll go Yeah, it's very, very, very irritating. Right, let's see. Good, there we go. Okay, so same sort of deal. This one has different controls as well. But you can't look up and down, but you can kind of look left and look right with the right stick. And if you want a strafe, well, it's not really a strafe, it's more of a side step jump thing. Same with the back one, so it's good though. And I use R to activate, X is to attack. Let's see if there's any enemies to annihilate. So yeah, I've activated the cheats in this one as well, but I've not got full health or anything. But that one right there, as you can see, every enemy that I fight, I will basically chop their limbs off. Aha. Oh, sorry for the glare, guys. Try to get this properly on camera. Whoa. There we go. Just chopped all its limbs off, apart from one arm. There we go. And you can get like different items in here, I think. Oh yeah, if I hold down L, so obviously I've programmed these at the time, these buttons, and it's trying to remember what they are since I've not played these games in quite some time. It's one of the games I've never actually completed, but if I hold an L and use the left or right on the D-pad, I can switch to different weapons. And there's one that's like a skull, that's it there, and I can make the enemies fight for me. Oh, there we go, there's a switch right there. See, that's sidestep, that's kind of one of the problems with control in this game. Damn. Well, it's time to annihilate you. Yes! There we go. That's how it's done. There we go. So I don't have it activated, but if I activate this, his limbs are just gonna come off. That's so cool. That's so much fun, honestly. So let's see if there's any other games that I've got. Yep, South Park, that's one of them. This is actually, I know how bad this game really is, but I remember playing this game on N64 and I loved it, even though it was basic, it was rushed. You know, the graphics were fine for the way they were. But I mean, I've done the same thing. As you can see, you can look up and down as well because it's a full 3D game. Yeah, the game isn't that great, especially the PS1 port, but at least I can kind of, you know, move these buttons about and stuff like that and make it a bit more enjoyable for myself, you know. And yeah, so let's see what else we've got. One of the other PlayStation classics as well. This is like my brother's favourite PlayStation game ever, and that is Future Cop LAPD. I would love it if they remade this game. But yeah, as you can see, this is a lot easier to play with you know, the dual analog setup. You know, it's weird when you play games like this. They're just like they just look and play so ahead of their time. You know, they just look amazing. Oh shit! I should not have. Maybe I should have kept my distance. Boom! Yay! Right, so, yep, one more game. So I'll go with Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, which this game does need a remake. You know, I mean, think of how good the Tomb Raider trilogy was. You know, obviously Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, and Shadow of Tomb Raider. Those games are absolutely phenomenal. You can imagine playing like a Soul Reaver game like this. You know, as you can see, I've mapped well, it's actually L and R that we would use to, or L2 and R2 maybe, to turn the camera around. And there we go. So usually you would use the D-pad, but this makes things a bit easier.
What scabrous riches are these? The scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
Come on, you little bitch. Obviously, I've tried to keep the buttons, like, obviously when they come up, there's a sort of little tutorial part there. I've tried my best to kind of keep them that way so that, you know, when it comes up, you know, you're able to do that. This is one game I loved as well. I played through this game so many times. It was actually my friend who, at the time, he traded me his PS1 for my Dreamcast. I wanted to play like games like Driver and play games like this and Dino Crisis and whatever else, and he wanted to swap. So I thought, fair enough. We swapped for a couple of weeks, then we kind of swapped back, once we wanted to play our own dedicated consoles again, so that was fine by me. But he had a chipped console, so all those games were chipped. I remember it stopped running, it stopped working properly, and my sister's boyfriend at the time was good at fixing things, so he had a look at it, and obviously it was like a shoddy, job that the person done, and I can't really remember it. Mind guys, this is like nearly 30 years ago, but I remember there was like a thumbtack in the bit where if you look at an original PlayStation, when you close the lid, there's like a little kind of, like a little bit that presses a button down to obviously make the disc spin. So obviously that had to be constantly be spinning for something to do with the obviously chipping of the console. And there was a thumbtack that was basically pressed straight into that, and it completely destroyed the button. So he managed to desolder it, if I remember correctly, and he got a new button for it, and it worked fine after that, which was really good. And obviously games like, you had the chipped version of this, you had the chipped version of Dino Crisis. I was in my glory at that point playing all these different games. I mean, even though I loved my Dreamcast, I just wanted to play some fresh adventure games where there wasn't really that many games like that on Dreamcast. There was a few, but not really that many, because Dreamcast was more of an arcade console, than anything else. But anyway, guys, that's going to be this for the end of this video. So if you have a PS Vita yourself, guys, I would highly recommend that you do something like this if you've got like, especially a modded one, so that you can easily just mod the thing and get all the PlayStation games that you want on there. If there's lots of first-person shooters there, if you have lots of adventure games there that you want to play, they're there for the taking. Plus, you can rearrange the controls to your liking so that you don't have to worry about having to just use the D-pad to move about. Like, obviously this is a full 3D game, so using the D-pad is fine, but you want to have that sort of freedom of just rotating a stick. It just makes things so much easier, and obviously the options there. So just make sure you have Adrenaline installed on your PS Vita if you've got it modded. Yes, you can do something similar on the PSP, but you can't. It's not like you can map obviously to the analog slider. You can map the D-pad to it. Does make things a bit better, and the thing is, though, I do prefer the PSP because it's got bigger D-pad, bigger buttons. Obviously, I can understand the way they went with this, this thing here, with the smaller buttons and stuff like that, just to kind of cram everything in. But I do love this thing, I really, really do. Plus, you're playing these PS1 games and PSP games and PS Vita games and on an OLED LED screen, so everything just looks so sharp and so amazing looking. It really does. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, what games do you play on your PSP? What games do you play on your PS Vita? Any classic ones, any good ones, any ones that you can recommend that I've never played myself and I've maybe been interested in it? I don't know. So anyway, guys, that's it for the end of this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. So if you did, smash the like buttons, throw me a devil horns. Also subscribe to my channel for more epic PlayStation stuff like this. And sayonara.